We are live on a blustery, windy, but beautiful Friday afternoon,
Yes.
especially because we know the forecast for Sunday. High 50s at first pitch, low 60s in the final out, and sunny all morning long. So after a very, very choppy start, we're going to have some softball come this Sunday, hopefully.
Let's cruise, Norm. Let's cruise.
Let's cruise from here on in. So we've analyzed the first week as much as we could possibly do it. I mean, we've had 2 weeks to talk about those 8 games.
Mo Harari, phenomenal.
How good was
Great
he?
guest. Great guest.
Were you surprised? Because I was.
I was surprised only because on the field he has a much more whimsical attitude.
Yeah.
So you don't realize how much he absorbs of the game and of the strategy and the team, but unbelievable. Great analysis.
Great analysis, calm demeanor. The knowledge of the league was extensive. The knowledge of the league history. He was able to go back. What is going on with this wind? I don't know, but he was able to go back. They'll be able to hear.
All right.
He was able to go back to the Marlins World Series and to previous teams. It was really, really great. To a team called Tremendous, captained by Douglas Dweck. So that was a really great show by Mo Harari. Great job out of him. I guess we'll start with him because his Knights came in heralded as the team to beat. Now, this happens every year. There's one team that everyone goes gaga over. And then when you see them, they tend to not be as good as advertised. And I don't think they were as good as advertised, to tell you the truth. They have a very long lineup, but Leo had 12 walks, including a leadoff walk in the last inning with a 2-run lead, including a walk to tie the game in the last inning, and including 2 blown 7th inning leads. So, and I don't think their infield was as good as I thought it was either. So
Who were they playing?
they this week are playing the desperate Cherokee Tribe at 0-2. Now, before I get your prediction, Cherokee Tribe had the meltdown of their own. A couple of calls didn't go their way. I don't even know that any calls were missed, but whether they were or not, they totally lost their heads. I maintain the biggest play of that game was Alley being thrown out at third. You gave Navy a chance to settle, and he cruised from there. But Cherokee Tribe should have done a little bit better last week. This is a tough game for me to predict. What do you think?
Do we know what the story is with their left fielder?
Yes. So Elliot Saka is not replaced. Elliot Saka remains on the Cherokee Tribe roster. Whether he's playing or not this week, partially, fully, I have no idea. That's between the team doctors and Elliot, and of course Cherokee himself, Abe Saka, to decide what they're going to do. Let's assume he's not playing. You also have shorthanded on the other side.
I'm not. Yeah, go ahead. Who's short?
The Knights are missing Michael Beta this week, their right fielder.
Wow.
And if you look at their roster, they did not draft a backup outfielder. I have to assume that I don't know if David DC could play outfield. If not, they're gonna have
David Max will play.
No, so Joe
Max will play
Eshko's
short and Joe Eshko play outfield.
So Joe Eshko's gonna have to go to the outfield,
There
to
you go.
right field. Now you're putting Max at short. David DC stays at third. I guess DR at short center and Mo Harari at second and Saban at first.
So I'll tell you, I was not on the Knights hype train when the season started. I thought they were a good team. I didn't think there was something to go nuts about. And I think the reason for that is because when you're selling your team to other people, it's very easy to overlook the big issues. Like say, yeah, but the walks, but then we have the lineup. But then you get to the field and now there's 12 walks, and you realize, it's tough to win a game. I mean, you zoom in on Saban's face, the zoom in is nothing like it.
And how good is Sandy, the play-by-play? He goes, Saban about to blow a gasket.
He really
and then
was.
you see Saban, and he's fuming.
Definition of about to blow a gasket.
Yeah, and it was only opening day. Wait till this, if this goes on, if Leo can't get it together, there's going to be a problem.
So now, Cherokee, they're a good team. I don't think that they had to panic so early at the 0-2 mark, especially in AB. I mean, I've been on teams with AB Saka at 0-2. I think this is a tailor-made split, Norm. Both sides definitely a little bit handicapped. Both sides have not even really shown any much of their potential. So I'm going to go split here.
I agree with you. I'm going split. In fact, if I have to go sweep, I'm giving it to Cherokee, but I'm going to go split because I think the lineup is too strong for the Knights, and Cherokee is a little shorthanded as well, so I think I'm going to go with a split over there. But I don't think they should have any problem getting a game. I do not expect Cherokee Tribe to be 0-4. If they are, it's on them. They could have won a game against Navy last week, and this is a winnable game without Michael Beta. And you have Max at short and DR at short center, and it's not the youngest, fastest infield I've ever seen. That's for sure. So I think if they hit it hard and low, they should have success. To tell you the truth. Okay,
All right.
so we both agree on a split. By the way, you had a rough week last week with your predictions.
I don't believe so, Norm.
What do you mean? You went 1-3.
No, I predicted the. I don't know what guy. It's very hard. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, it was
Did I
1 and
go
3.
1-3?
Yeah, you went 1 and 3. I went 3 and 1, by the way. I had a great week.
Got it.
Okay, so now let's continue on. You want to go to time and the cucumbers?
Sure.
Okay. So over here you also have two shorthanded teams because the cucumbers are missing 2 players. They're missing DK, their left fielder, power hitter, who leads the league in home runs, and they're missing Abraham Soroya.
Yes.
They're missing Abraham Soroya, which means that's their second baseman and their left fielder. Jack Abadi can only cover one of those positions. I'm not sure what they're going to do. They're going to have to activate Hollywood Dweck because they only have 10. So I assume you're going to put Hollywood Dweck in right and move Abe Haber to left. Abe Haber's a left fielder, no problem.
Yeah.
So you put Hollywood in right, and I guess Abadi stays at short center maybe. And then who's their second baseman, Saul?
Savage?
Savage is going to play maybe first with Solomon Fallis at second.
Could be.
I would put Abadi at second just to break up the backup short center fielder and the backup first baseman, just to cover more ground over there.
Jack's a student of the game, so I'm not worried about how he's going to handle these substitutions.
Yeah.
We're shorthanded also. We have
You're missing Nate.
Nathan missing.
So you're going to put you at third.
I'm going to play third.
Yeah.
And short. You got to speak to my captain regarding all the substitutions. I'm not fully sure what the alignment is.
Well, who's your bench?
We have Joe Ashkenazi and Waldo. So we can do a few different things with our team. I'm not sure what the final route is. Joe's a good fielder.
Yeah, so you can either
Joe's a good
put Joe on the infield at second or at short center, or you could put Mishon at short center
Yes,
and
or
put
Mishon at
Raw
second.
Dog at first.
We're versatile. We have the guys.
Well, I don't know about that because can Jimmy play short center? I haven't
Jimmy
seen
can-
Jimmy play. I wouldn't put Jimmy at short center. I'd leave Jimmy at second.
Jimmy can do it.
I wouldn't
Joe can
touch.
do it.
Truth is, I'd put Raw Dog at first and Mishon at short center. But I don't know Z's brother Joe. I don't know if he can do it or
Joe's
not.
a good fielder.
He did. And you haven't played third base since week 2 of last year, so here we
Since
are,
week
week 2.
7, actually, on Rough and Rowdy, that awful red team.
Oh, that
I
terrible red team.
I
Yeah.
played third base, and I played a good third base. So I'm hopeful and optimistic.
Okay, now I'm going to give you an out. Do you not want to predict your teams this year, or do you want to predict your team? Because if you're going to predict it, you got to live up to it. You got to say, I got that game wrong. If you're not going to predict it, just say, I'm not picking my games. What do you want to do?
This is time, Norman.
Okay.
Time and hef to sweep the cucumbers, or as Harari said, the cucumbers. We're gonna sweep. We got a strong team. We're just hitting our stride, and no doubt.
So I love both teams, but both teams are shorthanded. I think Time can handle it. I think you could play third. And I think either Mishon at short center, like we just said. I think you guys will be okay. Nate is a good leadoff man for that team. Somehow he keeps getting on. He really does.
Always gets
So
on.
you're going to miss that in your lineup because your lineup is short as it is. But A.B. Cohen as the pitcher, I think Z and I think Jimmy should go to town. Jiga went 4 for 6 last week. You got robbed a couple of times. Mishon is going to be able to handle a pitcher like A.B. Cohen. I think Time will have some good contact. I really do. I'm expecting a big week from Shimmy as well. So I really like the team of Time, so I'm giving them a game here against the mighty, mighty Cucumbers, against the Cucumbers. The Cucumbers losing 2 guys this week is hard. It's okay to fill one gap, especially when you have a baddie who could literally play any position on the field. But he can't play 2 positions at one time. I'd leave him on the infield at second so he could cover as much space as he can. But you have Savage at first, or Sal Fowles at short center, or something like that. And even Hollywood Dweck in right, he's an adventure every time. He could make a diving catch, but then miss a high pop. They could also put Hollywood at short center and simplify things. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to figure that out. But I think they're a little too short-handed, and they're stepping up in competition. So I'm going to go with a split over here as well. By the way, that's 2 splits for me so far. I may go 4 splits today. I hate to do it, although the last time I did it was 2 years ago, week 2, and it came through. I went 4 for 4, they all split. I'm sort of feeling that way, but we'll see if Saul is able to sway me on one of the other games.
So what do we got now?
Let's go over to Fireman's Field.
Okay.
You want to go game of the week called by Eldongo, or you want to go? Okay, game of the week called by Eldongo. Actually, which one is on Fireman's West? I'm not sure, Saul. Let's go to Threat Level Midnight, who's 1-1 versus Nate B, and you gotta believe at 2-0.
Wow. This is tough. It's very hard to step off the Nate B train when the Nate B train is chugging into the winds like this. Although I do love the Dano team and the Harari. It's a great combo. It's going to be 2 good games. I don't have much commentary on it because I didn't get to watch any of these.
Let me say
live.
something about that, because I may have screwed up here. I really wanted everyone to be on Fireman's within the first 2 weeks and to be on Oceanport within the first 2 weeks. So whoever you played last week, you're playing the other opponent this week that was on that field. But the problem with that is you're not going to see until week 3 some of these other teams.
Right.
You're going to see the same 4 teams at your field this week. You know, you were on Fireman's last week. Those 4 teams are on Oceanport. So next year I got to fix that up a little bit because you don't know some of the teams.
Right.
But anyway,
so true to that point, Norm, I am not one for stepping off the Navy train when the Navy train is chugging, especially after beating that Cherokee team, which I still think is pretty strong. I'm going Navy to sweep. I've done it before. It's cashed in many times, and that's my prediction.
Okay, the best team today in YMSL is Threat Level Midnight. They will sweep Navy, and you gotta believe.
No way.
They will sweep Navy, you gotta believe. They will sweep Navy, and you gotta believe.
Not gonna happen.
Navy got a gift last week at Cherokee, losing their minds, losing their heads, and playing terrible softball, to tell you the truth. Got to keep it together. A call goes against you or whatever, you're making a scene, you're jumping all over the place. Not because of issues with the umpire or respect or whatever, because the umpires all love us and everything. The issue of losing your team. You lose your team when you do that. So I really think Navy, I think he got a little lucky last week. I really do. I'm going Threat Level Midnight. I think they're a better team. I still have a problem with You Gotta Believe lineup, especially the bottom half of it. I still do. And I don't think they're going to have that much success against this defense, this pitcher, and this team of Threat Level Midnight. I'm going Threat Level to sweep. So I didn't go all splits.
Norm, I am now realizing I have a haircut at 1 p.m. It's 12:59.
Okay, so give me a prediction before you run out. So we have the last.
A lot of days for this haircut.
Okay, yes, you are. Okay, the last game that we have to discuss is To the Moon at 0-2 and the Aces. We did that.
To the moon.
Okay, so To the Moon and the Aces. This is at Oceanport. The Aces is, of course, Yadid, Mavora, Red. Red is 1-1 this year.
That red team, it's hard to jump on the red. It's hard to like
It is
a
hard.
team in red.
It is hard to back a red team when they're 6-23 entering this year.
Very hard.
But you know what? Their percentages went up a little bit. They're 7-24 now in the last 3 years.
Mo Haber reeling a little bit from the 0-2. Was that due to Jack and the Kakambas or Mo Haber and his team?
That's the big
That's
question.
the question. That question is going to get answered this week, especially since I think the Aces are kind of that middle of the road team. So you'll see, am I going to compete with these guys or am I going to get crushed? Again, with my haircut looming, I don't want to make anything too wild, so I think I'm going to go split here.
Due to the haircut?
Due to the haircut,
You don't want to split hairs?
If I didn't have a haircut right now, I'd give the edge to Bavora and the Aces.
Why is the relevance? What is the relevance of your haircut?
Only because it's more of a like a bomb dropping type thing where I talk about it more. Now I think I'm going to get out of it. Split.
What are you predicting? Because no one knows what you're talking about.
I am going to predict a split between the Aces and.
Okay. I am.
I don't like that prediction. I think the Aces are going to sweep.
You do?
I think they're going to sweep.
You do. You're going Aces to sweep.
I'm going Aces sweep.
Okay. I am going to go with a split because I can't see To The Moon being 0-4. I would give To The Moon a game against any team this week. I really would, because you got to think with the talent that they have. Shalou, Cohen, Hannon got a drubbing last week, 2 weeks ago. He had to wait 14 days to get back on that mound. You got to assume these guys have some heart, that they're insulted. Juber, Mo Haber. You got to assume these guys are doing anything to get a win. They have to get a win. You can't be 0-4 in a league that's only has 5 teams making the playoffs. So they got to figure out how to get a win. The Aces are not the best team in the league. They're beatable. You can beat them, although they have the pitcher. They have the pitching edge in Udid. They're going their 4 outfielders, and Joey Cohen looked damn good at shortstop last week. I have to say that To The Moon figures out a way to get 1 game, not 2, and that's going to be a split. So I'm going with Threat Level Midnight to sweep and all other splits. You're going with the Aces to sweep.
And Navy. And time.
Navy to sweep. And time to sweep, and only 1 split.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Those are our predictions. We disagree a lot, so maybe you'll
Yes.
catch up in the standings over
Well,
here.
usually I end up falling further down, but hopefully this year will change. Norm, I'm going to head out to my haircut now.
Enjoy, Sol.
Windy at high maintenance. I apologize for the wait.
Okay, lag ball in there.
Yes. Looking
Enjoy.
forward.
Maybe
See you
Shimon
on
by
the
your
field.
eye. I'll see you later, Sol.
See you later.